Well, expensive farmland and not enough of it to go around. It's a growing problem here in Arizona that we first told you about last week, and it can ultimately impact the food security here in our state.
It's a big issue. Yeah, Jamie Warren speaking with members of a newfound coalition looking to preserve this land before it's too late. It's a story that you will only find here on ABC 15 Mornings.
Sad, terrified. Worried for my employees.
Last week, we told you about Blue Sky Organic Farms on the verge of losing the land they lease because it's being sold to development. David Vos is the farm's owner and says the amount of farmland Arizona is rapidly losing is concerning.
You know, we all assume food's just going to show up from somewhere else, and that somewhere else now is still California and Mexico and other countries. And our own ability to feed ourselves is going to be severely limited because we have no long-term planning to make farming an option.
And that, he says, can lead to food insecurity. It's a problem we saw back in March when this pandemic began,
where a distribution was bottlenecked up.
Cindy Gentry, president of Sun Produce, says local farms also ensure fair wages and fair prices for farmers. They use less pesticides on the food you eat, and more soil, less pavement, can also keep the valley cooler. According to the USDA, more than half of all cropland ever created in Maricopa County has been converted to urban development. And there's been a steady decline in just the past 50 years, from 1.5 million acres in the 70s to just under 500,000 today. And data shows we rely on so much food from other places that we only have enough locally grown food to sustain about 10% of county residents.
It's not just that they're losing their land, it's where is the land available for them to go to, and that's the concerning part. It's a definite struggle.
I spoke with over a handful of members of the Coalition for Farmland Preservation.
Our work could be considered relatively futile if there's not a stronger priority on why we do the work.
They recently met with city and state leaders, bringing the problem to their attention and going over possible solutions. One starts with the Arizona Land and Water Trust, a nonprofit that works with willing landowners to obtain conservation easements.
Pay you in cash for those development rights so that the land is permanently protected and it's in what we call perpetuity, so it's forever.
They say another solution would be changing zoning laws and offering tax incentives to developers to not build on a portion of the land they buy. Finally, finding a way for cities or counties to buy that land, preserve it, and lease it back to the farmers.
We will not be able to solve our food insecurity crisis here if we're not also considering land insecurity.
And we just need to educate and inform people in Maricopa County.
So these are just a few ideas that the coalition has, and in some cases they say cities and towns have the ability to make these changes. There just has to be a commitment, which is why they're educating leaders about this in hopes that those changes can take place in the future. I'm Jamie Warren, ABC 15, Arizona.